you think the size of your arse matters? I really believed it did. For a good decade, I thought the size of my arse was the key to health and happiness. And I tried just about everything to adjust the size of it. Low carb, high protein, aloe vera, fasting, every exercise known to mankind. I even signed up for a tap dancing class. And whilst my arse went up and down, my health never actually shifted. My health never really changed. And I was kind of stuck. Now that happens to a lot of people, so it's not a big deal, but it's kind of a big deal when your day job is all about change. What I do for a living is actually enable teams to make change stick. So it's a wee bit embarrassing when you can't actually do it for yourself. And I was trying to work out, why is it I was so hardwired, and I really was hardwired, that it was all about the size of my arse. That's what I had to adjust. That would give me good health. And all the while, I knew the theory. I knew there was something different these teams were doing. There was something I was missing, and I couldn't quite work out what it was. Essentially, I was making the right arse a change. However, a series of events helped rewire me a little bit over a period of time. And the first thing, actually, was an email that came in. It was a thank you from a team I had helped through change. Jean, they put a video in. We like to do that, bit of a video. Jean, thank you so much for helping us. You got us over the line on change. You brought the energy of Tigger, lots of wisdom, couldn't have done it without you. Oh, I was chuffed to bits. It's like, oh, that must be what Meryl Streep feels like when she gets her applause. So I quickly shouted my husband and daughter in to show it off, played them the video, and I was kind of waiting for the reaction, and I turned round. Stone cold silence. And my teenage daughter looked at me and said, well, that's not what you do at home. That's certainly not what we see from you, Mum. And just walked out the room. That's tough to hear. And what makes it even more tough is I knew it was true. I knew I was being two different people. One way at work and another way at home. But I still didn't quite know what to do about it. So a couple of weeks later, evidently I am a bit thick, so I needed another smack in the back of the head. And that actually came in the form of a car crash. Now, thank God nobody was injured, but if anyone's been in that, you'll know how the adrenaline hits you. And I was lying in bed at 3 a.m. thinking, oh my God, if this had been my last day, is this really how I want to be living? Is this really what I want life to be like? And the answer was no. I really, really didn't. But I was stuck. I had tried everything. I didn't know what else to do. Now, as luck would have it, there was a wellbeing project kicking off at work, and they were looking for volunteers. And I probably had reached that point of desperation because I could feel my health really deteriorating. So I decided to sign up. And it involved me working with this incredible coach whose whole specialization is how to help people make change. So I rocked up at my first meeting, still with the I need to change the size of my arse view. All right, big man, so what we doing? Are we pulling a tractor tire through a field? Where are we starting? He said, well, easy. I can't do a Texan accent, so I'm not going to try. He said, no, hold on. Before we do anything, let's work out why you want to change. What is it you're trying to get to? I was like, well, what do you mean? I'm trying to change the size of my arse. How difficult's that? No, there's something else going on here. Let's work out what that is. And he was like a dog with a bone. He kept questioning me. So what is it like today? How are you feeling? What do you want it to look like? How do you want to feel? And that was the moment. And I looked at him and I said, I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to feel like this because this was not good. I was living off coffee and adrenaline. I was absolutely exhausted. On any given day, I could have cried with the tiredness. And although I was all energy at work, it was really fake energy. And on a Friday, when I came back from work, it was a face plant onto the sofa. So it was neither wonder my family reacted the way they did when they saw that video. They were not getting that version of me. So once we got to the truth, which is really uncomfortable, I mean, I had never really faced up to that before. I thought, right, will we get the tractor tire now then? And he said, no, hold it. You have been doing this on your own. Now that you've told yourself the truth, you're going to have to talk to your family about it. You have to tell them the truth. Oh, didn't fancy that much. But anyway, we were on our way to Disney. As it would have it, we were heading off to Disney on holiday. And as you can see, I'm not exactly the picture of health in that picture. And about 2 days into the holiday, I was struggling. I was popping painkillers just to keep moving. And on the third day, when I got up in the morning, I thought, I can't do this. I cannot do this. I am absolutely exhausted. So I took heed of my trainer's advice, and I basically just bit the bullet and said, I can't go on like this. I'm happier at work than I am at home. Oh, that's a hellish thing to say to the people that you love. But it's how I felt. And for sure, my daughter had a really angry reaction. She goes, well, go and live somewhere else and be happy then. Beat it. And my husband just stood and looked in shock. He was oblivious to how unwell I was. And I can still remember standing there and just quietly saying, I think you're killing me. I think this way of living is really killing me. Not exactly the happiest place on earth that morning, was it, in Disney? Anyway, it was, however, very honest. And I had never, ever been that brutally honest with either myself or with my family. And what was super helpful was it then changed the conversation. It then allowed us to start making changes that we were all on board with, and that's what we began to do. Connecting more with each other, putting the technology down, talking to each other, walking more, switching up what we were eating. None of it was rocket science, but it was gentle and consistent, and my coach was helping me all the way. And in terms of where I am now, well, the good news is I am no longer two different people. I am no longer operating one way at work and another way at home. And by the way, my family don't lift me up on their shoulders at home, just to be clear. That's not a daily occurrence at work. But what I realized, and what had been staring me in the face all that time, is that the teams who made change work were brutally honest with each other. They actually were changing the right things because they were paying attention to what was going on. They were having those conversations. Now, in terms of how life is today, the connection with my daughter is completely different. We were at a festival a couple of weeks ago, and she wasn't too affronted to stay with me and dance with me all day. And that would have been unimaginable. I'm also more resilient. I'm dealing with a lot of change. I find myself turning 50 and about to become a single mum very unexpectedly. Not happy, but I'm healthy and I'm strong and I'm able to deal with it. So like me and like those teams, what I'd love to invite you to do is think about this. What are the changes you're making that you need to be really honest with yourself about? Are you really having that brutal, honest discussion with you? Because here's the thing. If you base change on truth, you really can't make an arse of it.